The Yankees were blown out and completely outplayed on Thursday. Straight up.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. With me, as always, is my producer, Steve Granado. Steve, what's going on?
No offense again. Just completely disappeared. That was a tough game, man. We're going to talk about that, of course, in a second. It is Friday, Stacey, which means it's Fanmail Friday. You sent your questions in all week long here on our YouTube side, and we are going to answer your burning questions here on today's episode. And, of course, I got to imagine you have a bunch more today after that game last night. We have a preview of the weekend. Is there any hope left for the Yankees? We're going to find that out. First, Stacey, Thursday night, yikes. I don't even, where do you even want to start with that 8-0 loss?
The thing that annoys me is that it was fine up to a certain point. 1-0, you're thinking, okay, if they keep them at 1, maybe they can scratch and claw their way to something. And then it just went to hell in a handbasket in a matter of 4 seconds, or so it seemed. Domingo Germán was fine, and I agree with the move to take him out this time. I won't bash Boone for that. I actually agreed with him on that. But it just, whoa, I wasn't expecting that outcome. I will say, at least they weren't shut out. They got those 2 runs in the bottom of the ninth, but just ridiculous.
That's so funny, because I wrote down 8-0 on our notes, because I didn't even, I turned it off.
Yeah.
I saw that they had some runners on. Okay, so they did end up scoring.
Yes.
Thanks for saving me there. I said 8-0. Sorry, my bad. 8-2. Let's start with Drew Rasmussen. 7 shutout frames. He gave up a pair of hits to Bowers. No walks, 7 strikeouts. That's it. I mean, he just straight up shoved.
But he always does against the Yankees. And it's the strangest thing I've ever seen. It's like watching Pedro Martinez against the Dynasty Yankees. Like, those were good teams, but Pedro Martinez made them look silly all the time. I mean, he did it in the 99 ALCS, struck out 17 of them. And, the Yankees went on to win the World Series. And it's like, am I watching, Pedro Martinez part 2 against the Yankees right now? It's crazy. He has yet to give up a run against them in 21 career innings. That's 4 appearances, 3 starts. And his strikeout to walk ratio against the Yankees, 26 strikeouts and only 2 walks, and didn't do any of that. That didn't give up a walk tonight. So
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, he just shoved again. I think that's just the word. He shoved just straight up.
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
Just could not figure him out at all.
Yeah, like, do they watch film? Like, do these guys watch film and think, oh, it's Dennis? I almost said Dennis Rasmussen. I knew I was going to do that. The former Yankee from like 35 years ago. Do they watch film on these guys and think, oh, hey, we're going to be up against this guy that always shuts us down. Let's watch him and see, maybe we could pick something up if we watch the film. Like, I don't understand how he's doing
tough,
this.
Man. It's tough. Look, hitting a baseball is very hard. I'll always give that caveat every single time anything happens ever. It is a very tough sport. But, man, I mean, the night and day feeling that I imagine both of us have after we were fairly optimistic for this series. And obviously the series isn't over.
It's
not over.
It's still fine.
I mean, man, that's a really, really tough way to start the series.
Yeah.
And again, you kind of brought up Domingo Germán there. You said he was fine. I thought he pitched pretty well. Yeah, he walked a couple. But, I mean, before he got pulled, it was just 1 unearned run.
Yeah, well, what did we say on Thursday's show? He had a history of having bad first innings, like his first inning ERA is above a 5. And I thought once he got past the first and the second, I was thinking, this could be something. And yeah, no, I'll say he pitched well. I mean, he made it into the 6th inning against the Rays, and he held them down until that inning, and that's when everything fell apart. So kudos to him. And again, I do agree with Boone taking him out because the Rays have a habit of beating up on guys when they face them like the third time through the order when they're facing someone.
Everyone does.
But this year, especially for some
Yeah.
reason, their numbers are just insane. So I didn't disagree with that move. And it was just disappointing that Ron Marinaccio was the one that had the bad thing
Struggled.
happen.
Yeah, he
'Cause,
struggled big time. Big time.
you
Struggled.
know, we were, what did we do on Thursday show? We were talking up the bullpen.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, it had been incredible and just completely imploded on Thursday night.
Blame it on me. It's my fault. I'm so sorry, guys. So sorry.
You mentioned struggles for Germán in the first inning. He definitely got into trouble in that first inning, but was able to get out of it, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
He was definitely pitching backwards, and I felt like the Yankees as a whole were kind of pitching backwards on Thursday night. A lot of off-speed pitches early in the count, a lot of first pitch changeup, a lot of first pitch curveballs, a lot. I mean, more than I've noticed at all this season.
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed that too. And I was kind of watching like, this is interesting. The at-bat that drove me nuts was his last walk that got him out of the game. I can't remember who was batting. He threw 3 of the same pitch and the guy didn't chase it. And after he pitched the 2 to make it 3 balls, I'm like, don't throw that pitch again. He threw the same exact pitch. And I'm like, what are they calling? And what is he throwing? I don't understand why they would do that, but yeah.
Yeah, same conversation topic for me on pitch sequencing. I think the pitch sequencing on the Josh Lowe at bat with the bases loaded after Germán got pulled, you throw back-to-back changeups in the exact same spot for Marinaccio. I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster. The first changeup a little bit lower, but you repeat that pitch into the exact same spot, but better, as in more over the plate and more in the strike zone and more knee high. What do you think is going to happen? You can't repeat that pitch, and that's what blew the game open right there. Was that pitch, and that's when that was the first domino.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that pitch sequencing. I'm curious to see if they continue to throw backwards this series, if that's going to be a thing. But I mean, we've talked about Garrett Cole and how important his fastball is. If he gets away from that, I don't think that's going to be a recipe for success. I trust his off-speed stuff and his secondary pitches. Clearly, I do. But he can't. It has to build off of that fastball. So I don't think that's going to be the right move for Garrett Cole in Game 2. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, I'm curious to see if they continue to pitch backwards.
Yeah, it was really strange. I don't know if they were. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what was going through their heads if they were trying to. I don't know. Change it up from last weekend. But yeah, it was very odd watching those pitching sequences. I agree. It was.
They tried something, I guess. It worked for a while.
Yeah. Until it didn't. And hey, sometimes that happens.
Stacey, the loss to Tampa Bay. Again, there are 3 games left here in this series.
Mm-hmm.
Do you... I hate saying this because it's still so early, and I hate that caveat at the same time. But we've also detailed out how important it is, how important this series is, because there's only 6 more games against Tampa Bay after this series for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Like, we kind of talked about it last week. May have been this week. They're all blurring. But like, are the Yankees already giving up on this thing in the East? Like, is it realistic to think they're actually going to come back and have a chance at winning the East?
I still think it's too early to say no. I think we have to wait till after this, but I think we have to wait till after this series.
Yeah. I mean, if it goes in this direction, clearly. Like, it's just too deep of a hole.
Yeah. But if they come back, you never know. Like if they win the next 3, then we're talking, okay, hey, maybe they kind of, you never know.
But let's call a spade here. Look, I will play the optimistic side when I think it's valid. And I thought yesterday was valid, to be fair. It may seem like I'm being a hypocrite here. And you know what? Maybe I am, whatever. But I mean, Thursday's game just straight up showed how much better the Tampa Bay Rays are. They're just better. They just are.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a good start out of Domingo Germán.
Yeah, true.
That's a regular guy. You can't go, well, it was Johnny Brito. Oh, well, it was Clark Schmidt. Like, no, it was Germán. He's going to be the 5th starter. Like, that's just it.
That's true.
They beat Garrett Cole.
If they do this again against Garrett Cole, then yeah. I mean, yes, they're a good team, obviously, but I don't know.
They run baseball right now.
It's
That's how the Rays run baseball.
Yeah, no, it's really annoying me though. I want them to go back to not being good because I liked it better when they were the Devil Rays. Because everything turned around when they got rid of Devil Rays. You remember this, right? Because I know
Of
you were
course.
young at the time, but they were awful when they were the Devil Rays. And once they dropped Devil out of the name, they started doing better. Make the World Series. You know, they don't win, but they're not like the punching bag of the American League after that.
Yeah.
And I'm sick of it, and I want them to go back to the Devil Rays. By the way, didn't they lose the game in which they wore the Devil Rays jersey on Saturday? So
They look so good though.
they were great. They're great
amazing.
uniforms, but you see,
They look amazing. It's the Evan Longoria effect.
Mhm.
He was the one that kickstarted the whole thing here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being too doom and gloom. Maybe I am. But
Everyone's
I
being
just,
too doom and gloom. I mean, everyone is being really doom and gloom right now,
But
and
there's
it's
also-
understandable.
there's
It
cause
is.
for it. There's
Sure.
cause for it, man.
Sure, but I'm still not there yet. I'm telling you, I've watched way too much baseball. There is way too much baseball. People can get hurt on the Rays, and I know it seems like they have a factory of guys that they just replace guys with other guys who do just as well, but you never know. It's still too early. We're only 40 games in. I'm not giving up yet. Okay? Call me crazy.
I'm
and
not
you
giving up
can
on
in
the
comments.
postseason.
No,
I'm
I'm
not
not giving up on the postseason. But
Don't get me wrong there.
I'm not giving up on the AL East either. I'm
You're
not.
crazy.
I am. Well, we know this.
Oh my gosh. Are you giving up on the AL East? Let me know in the comments down below. I feel like we're going to talk about this for the next month. But man, come Monday, if we're having this conversation again, if I'm even asking you a question, are you giving up on the AL East? You know something went wrong this weekend.
Right.
If I ask you that again on Monday.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you can leave questions in our comments throughout every one of our episodes here on YouTube. And of course,
Yep.
we'll answer them. That's what we're going to do in our next segment. Don't forget, the whole series this weekend and every game this season is on Sirius XM. John and Susan got your back. Coming up, Fan Mail Friday.
So Rare is a revolutionary fantasy baseball game and marketplace transforming fans into owners with officially licensed digital cards featuring players from across all 30 Major League Baseball teams. Unlike other fantasy baseball platforms, So Rare managers truly own their fantasy experience, collecting, buying, selling, and competing with player cards against global opponents to win epic rewards. Win or lose, you still own your cards, and there's no cost to play. MLB game weeks happen twice weekly. They span 3 to 4 days, and at the end of each week, So Rare managers who rank at or near the top of their leaderboards win a variety of rewards. That includes cards, tickets, merchandise, signed jerseys, and you can even have VIP experiences with MLB stars. Head to sorare.com/lockedon. That's spelled SORARE.com to draft your team of free player cards, set your lineup, and start competing today to win epic rewards. Again, that's sorare.com/lockedon to start playing today.
Back here on Locked On Yankees, it is Fan Mail Friday. You sent in questions. We got your answers in just a second. Hey, thanks for making us your first listen, of course. For the everydayers out there who listen every day, coming up on Monday, you already know what it is. It's Minors Monday.
Yeah.
We'll check in with the minor leagues and see who is been incredible. Andres Chaparro. Ever heard of him?
I was just going to say it.
Jesus, what a week. And it's
Yeah.
not even the weekend yet.
Yeah.
Well, it is if you're watching this, but as well, he's good. He's good. We'll talk about it again. I mean, it's just Minors Monday is just going to turn Chaparro Mondays.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. Hey, okay. So we got a couple of questions here, Stacey. We'll start with this one from John O123X. By the way, thank you so much for commenting all the time. This is one of the regular commenters, and you always got great things to say. Thank you for being a part of the community and a part of the show. Stacey, they asked, what are the chances of either Jason Dominguez or Spencer Jones, both roaming the outfield for the Yankees after August, if not earlier, the way injuries are going? Stacey, I'm going to go ahead and say Spencer Jones, no. Not this season.
Mm-mm.
2 years, 3.
Yeah, it might be a while for him.
Yeah, it's going to be a while. He's striking out a lot in Hudson Valley, by the way. He's striking out a lot at an alarming clip. He does not have very many games in the minor league level under his belt just yet overall. Jason Dominguez, I think maybe. I think Jason Dominguez could possibly be a September call-up.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. That'd be fun.
Yeah, but that being the caveat, he's the 27th.
Right. Like it wouldn't be yeah, it's definitely too soon. Way too soon for Jones. I definitely. But
Yeah.
Dominguez would I don't know, I think a lot of things would have to go wrong if they had to call up Dominguez to
Yeah, a
take
ton of
over
things
for
would have to
someone.
go wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
that would mean Cole Calhoun's not in the mix. I mean, Willie Calhoun's not in the mix. There's a lot of things that would happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think Dominguez could potentially be a September call up, but I wouldn't bet too hard on that one.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks again
Yeah.
for your question. This one's coming from Gold Cool 5. I realize some of it may be a fluke or just bad luck with all the injuries, but what do you think is causing all these injuries? I know with Stanton, it's expected for him to get hurt every year. Ha ha ha. Hardy, hardy, har. Stacey, we kind of talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but I felt like it was important to bring this conversation topic back up because I think the answer is we don't have one.
No.
It's weird. It is weird. And I think that Yankees fans and just sports fans have a right to be curious, to be like, what's going on, man? Like, it does seem like injuries are at an alarming rate just across baseball.
It almost, I don't know, it almost feels like all the training these guys do, because this isn't like baseball of 30 to 40 years ago where the guys showed up to spring training to get into shape to play the season. Guys are starting to get into shape like even before the World Series ends if your team's eliminated, and these guys are doing all these extra things to get ready, and they're building like these big muscles and they're doing all these crazy things, and things tend to strain and stretch. A lot of these guys are bigger. I mean, Stanton's a big dude, and it's always his legs with him. And I know he tried to change his way of working out and started doing yoga and stuff like that, and that's why Judge has remained relatively healthy. I don't know. It almost feels like we should go back to the years where spring training was when you got into shape and that you weren't in the best shape of your life in December.
Yeah. Wild. Thank you for your question. First time you've been checked in here, so thank you so much. This one's coming from ISC Taylor 109. Has Bader done enough to earn a permanent spot in the lineup when Judge comes back fully? This is from before. Move Bader to right field. Bader is DH. Stacey, I'm going to go ahead and say that Bader is your starting center fielder. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Definitely. I would much rather him be in center field. He's the best center fielder the Yankees have.
Yeah, I think there is no question. Bader obviously will get days off when need be. They're obviously going to keep an eye on the previous injuries that he has sustained and make sure those things and monitor them, make sure they're okay and not getting any worse at any point. But I think you can fully expect Harrison Bader to be in center field for the Yankees so long as he is healthy the rest of the season. Thank you again for your question. This one's coming from Ellery Tom. Given that her mom and Brito both kind of suck in the first inning, per Baseball Reference, I like that. Should the Yankees experiment with using an opener for them? Stacey, your thoughts on the opener for Germán/Brito?
Could it be Clark Schmidt? I'm kidding. Well, no, I mean, Germán, this was before Germán pitched. I don't think Germán needs an opener. I really don't think Brito needs an opener either.
Just your thoughts on the opener in general. Do you necessarily subscribe to that notion?
Occasionally. I don't feel like it should be a thing that teams do regularly. You know what I mean? Like when it really started getting popular, it was kind of like, well, when the Rays, because the Rays were the ones that really started doing it.
I don't dislike it.
Yeah, I don't dislike it either. And I wasn't really kidding about the Clark Schmidt thing, because I feel like if they tell him you're only going to pitch 2 innings, you just have to open the game, I think he would do better.
Yeah. I mean, what the strategy behind it is, you get your long man, aka your starter, who would really be your starter that day. He doesn't have to face that lineup the first time through. That way he gets the third time through. That's really the theory behind it. So maybe. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with that. My question is who? That's my question.
Right.
Thanks again for your question. One more here today, Stacey. This is coming from Cryptic Zero. Do you see any realistic trade this season that could improve the team? I'll start this one, Stace. I don't think right now there's anything in my mind that's makes much sense. And I think at this time of the season in May, it is very tough to pull off a trade because teams don't know the full trajectory of their seasons yet. So they're a little more reluctant to pull the trigger on a trade that would realistically make an impact.
Right. I also saw, I can't remember who said it now. They were talking about how bad the selection could be, and they thought that this trade deadline might be a dud compared to other years, which I thought was interesting. Yeah, I really can't think of anything right now because, again, we don't, like you said, we don't really know how some of these teams are going to be doing 2 months from now or 2.5 months from now, whenever the trade deadline is beginning of August, right? So we're almost there. We don't know how some of these teams are going to be doing heading in there, but I feel like there are going to be a bunch of teams that could be sellers. We just don't know who yet and who's going to be available. But
yeah, I mean, it depends. You think of teams like the Seattle Mariners, like they have a lot of great pieces. Like, are they gonna teeter like there are just a couple games over 5 or dipping down to 5? Like, you don't really know yet,
right?
So I think it's still just a wait and see. But it is kind of a catch-22 because you're like, well, the Yankees need help now; they don't need help later. But I mean, I think the more this is going to be a little hard to hear. Yankees could be sellers.
No. You want to make a bet on that?
No, because I don't bet. But the Yankees could be sellers on Glaber.
Oh, well, maybe, but
and
I don't know.
Something else, maybe some other piece.
Yeah, no, I don't know. No, I don't think it's going to be.
I'm not saying they're full-fledged jumping ship, but I think they could not be buyers. How about that? I think they could not be buyers. It might not be worth the investment to give up something like Peraza, Volpe, whatever.
Right, for like the second half and for like a playoff push. All right, I see that. Okay, but no, I don't think they're going to be like full blown like, oh my God, they're horrible. They need to sell pieces off at the trade deadline.
Well, they would never admit that. They would never admit that.
But I don't see that happening.
Even if it were the correct choice at the time.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let us know how you're feeling about all these questions down in the comment section. Thank you guys again for being a part of the show. We take your questions all week here on our YouTube side, and we answer them on Fridays. Don't forget, the series continues and the season continues over on SiriusXM. All you have to do is download the app and, of course, search Yankees and start a free trial. It's that simple. Coming up next, we're going to preview the rest of the weekend against Tampa Bay.
Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll have. Game Time also has flash deals and last-minute tickets. It's easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area, and and they even give you images of your seats so you know what you'll be seeing. With their lowest price guarantee and even event cancellation protection, Game Time is the best place to buy tickets in just a matter of seconds. 2 taps and you're set. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Back here on Locked On Yankees, 3 more games against Tampa Bay that kind of feel, I'm going to say this word again, Stacey, super important. Garrett Cole goes tonight, Friday night. How important is this start for Garrett Cole right now?
Oh, it's very important because his last start was against the Rays and it was absolutely awful. And he knows it. He said it afterwards. And, he was cruising there for a while. And then it was kind of like tonight. It just turned into a disaster within, it felt like seconds, just a couple of pitches. And they were back in the game and tied it. It was just really strange. So, yeah, no, I can't believe I'm saying this on May 12th, but this is a very important start for Garrett Cole. He needs to bounce back. He needs this badly.
7?
Yes. He has to go 7. He only can give up at most
2. Yeah. Straight up. Garrett Cole needs to be Garrett Cole tonight.
Yeah, he needs to be the Garrett Cole that started the season. No home runs, 135 ERA. That Garrett Cole needs to be back.
Because it doesn't get any easier. Shane McClanahan on Saturday, Zach Eflin on Sunday, Cortez and Schmidt will counter those respectively. McClanahan is on a roll.
Yes. Yeah, they're
good, man.
I don't know where they get these guys from. It's annoying. It's like they have a factory of guys and it's guys that aren't really in a lot of cases, heralded guys, and you're just like, where'd these guys come from? I don't understand. I joked with David Cohn a couple years ago. I'm like, do they have labs where they produce these guys? Like, where do they come from? It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. They are incredible. We'll see what cleats Nestor wears on Saturday. That's a fun little game we like to play now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's too bad he's not pitching on Friday because they're doing the Star Wars night late, and they're having it's a Anthony Rizzo bobblehead that's Star Wars themed, and
the Mandalorian Rizzo.
Yeah, and he could have done that sort of theme. But
I'm sure he would have.
Yeah, his cleats.
We'll see what he. I mean, he went with the Super Mario Brothers last time. Clean.
Yeah,
we'll see if see what he wears on Saturday, and we'll see if Clark Schmidt can keep building.
Hey, if he can go another. 6 would be incredible, though. 6 would be incredible against Tampa. I mean, like 6.
I'm realistically just hoping he gets to the 5th.
Yeah. But if he can,
and hoping that Nestor goes fairly deep, Garrett goes deep tonight, and then that way your bullpen isn't as taxed by Sunday.
Right, because that's the key. Yeah. That is the key. They have to. All of them have to last at least until I keep saying the 6th, but Cole needs to go to the 7th. Sorry, Cole, but you're the ace of the team. You need to go 7th.
Yeah, you gotta. I think Friday's a must win.
Oh yeah, Friday's a
must win. Must win, and Saturday is not too far behind a must win. Without me saying must win, it's a must win.
Yeah, like I said, it's that tent pole.
Yeah, Cole and Cortez have to show up. They have to. There is no ifs, ands, or buts, because if you lose both those games, I'm asking you if you're giving up on the AL East on Monday. That's coming up on Monday, as well as Minors Monday. Of course, we will chat about the top performers in the minor league system throughout the Yankees. We do that on every Monday show, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. And thank you guys for all the kind words about our Monday episodes. I really appreciate it. We work very hard on those episodes, so thank you guys for all the kind words about that. The series and the season is on Sirius XM. Just download the Sirius XM app, of course, and get a free trial. You can check it out. You will love it. I was listening to the Rays broadcast, as a matter of fact, for the Thursday night game. Just want to switch it up. Just want to hear somebody else talk. It was nice using the Sirius XM app. That's going to do it for us for this week and for the weekend. I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. We'll see you on Monday.